I got on.
Sound recorder's on.
Okay.
That's the start of that, by the way. Where do I put my sunglasses?
There. Oh no, they're Chris's glasses.
Some more.
Do you want to put them inside, or are you happy with them there?
No, I'll put them inside.
Yeah,
I
just
think
put
you'll
them on the little desk that's on the left as you go in.
Keep them safe.
Going through the... Yeah.
Alright, let's get going. What's going on? Hour and a half of interesting footage.
Yeah.
Here with the dice.
Okay, we only need
I feel
one,
like
as it
maybe
stands.
the third time we play this game, it will
Let's
be,
use that one. This
it'll
is the
get
biggest.
Cool.
Here are some more. I'll get the risk out when we decide that's how this is settled.
Let's put them on the iMac machine.
The iMac machine.
I have no idea what it is,
The
but it's fine.
iPad.
The iPad.
Oh yeah, okay. Right, okay, yeah.
On the basis that if
That's
something
recorded
gets
as well.
broken, trodden on or shat on, Warren will also be involved in that.
With a higher costs.
I reckon it's pretty close.
So I say,
Okay.
I'll put my expensive ring
What,
around.
with the glasses in there?
Yeah, I reckon it's pretty close.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty nice.
Okay, so this is the first attempt at NOMIC by the Selkirk boys.
Are we going with that?
No.
Selkirk boys? It's like,
Yeah,
I
that's-
vote against us because two of them are.
Yeah, how are we writing ourselves into art history?
Okay. So at 2:20 exactly on Saturday, 29th of June.
Tooting group?
Do we have a manifesto?
Well, okay, how do we start this game?
I like the timestamp,
Yeah.
but I feel like maybe we should name ourselves and say hello.
Okay, well Okay, so I'm Warren Andrews.
Give yourself a symbolic identification.
Well, you go first then.
Okay.
Can I be Christopher Mayer, Vice Chancellor of the Dominion?
Okay. Well, I'm playing Christopher Lawrence, cat handler.
Okay. Cool.
That's the word.
I'm Warren Andrews, and I am the bookkeeper for this game.
Hi, I'm Chris Mayer, I'm Vice Chancellor of the Dominion.
I'm Dominic Lechka, I'm the destroyer of worlds.
Okay.
Ours are in total different spectrums, isn't it? The bookkeeper, the destroyer of worlds.
I wish I'd asked from cat handler.
I
You
feel like
feel free.
I'm probably closer
No,
to
let's start
He-Man than the rest
Yeah,
of you
yeah.
guys.
Okay. So, how do we start?
Well, you understand the rules best. Why don't you propose a rule? I don't mind giving up any presumed advantage to that.
Okay, so we're all happy that I will.
I think
I
you
will
should go
take the lead.
first.
Okay, right.
Yeah,
vote on
followed by clockwise.
Shit.
Yeah. Unless they
That'll
get
give us
changed
time to
first.
enjoy arguing about whether that's something legal.
I'm not going to go in hard. Okay.
Is that what you say to all the girls?
Yeah.
You play them.
What are you
Which
voting
is
against
harder.
Warren?
So if you're not going to go in hard, are you going to thumb in soft?
Okay, I'm going to propose a time limit. I'm going to propose to enact a mutable law that states there is a time limit on firstly the time you can take to propose a law, and then the subsequent discussion.
I vote against us because it seems like there's two rules there.
Well,
Let me
Well,
propose
let
the.
him fin- let him
Yeah,
finish.
yeah. Okay. So there should be 3 stages of how these votes take place: a proposal, an amendment of the language, where the judge may need to be brought in, and then thirdly, the process of voting. Okay. We can decide on what those figures are, but I think that's a good structure to speed the game up, and also to stop people obstructing the notion of the game. Okay.
So there should be a time limit
There should be a time limit.
without establishing. what
Okay,
the
so I
time
need to
limit
write
is.
this down. Yeah. Okay,
Well-
so my proposal for
Well,
rule.
are we going to write it down before we amend it?
Okay, so this
Right.
will be rule 301.
Write it down in a basic form.
Yeah.
Like if we're setting a timer, I can't set it on this because I'm going to set the video timer by this.
Okay, cool.
It's just to let you know.
But that's fine. The process of how it's done is not necessarily important, but I propose that there is a time limit for the amount of time taken to propose a vote, suggest amendments, and then subsequently vote on it. Okay? So, within this process, because it hasn't been set out yet, I'm going to open it out because I want to allow people to discuss amendments.
Right, because So
Yeah.
I would say the rule doesn't actually change anything unless we propose an actual time limit.
Yeah. Okay. So shall I suggest times?
So yeah,
Okay. So I'll suggest from the end of the previous participants go, you have 5 minutes to propose a rule, 10 minutes for there to be an open discussion about the amendments, and then a subsequent 2-minute time limit for everyone to put in their votes.
we don't have a timer.
We have a timer. I can time on my phone.
Okay, I feel that there should be something that's relatively quick to enact. So you press a single button, so it shouldn't be a number of different times.
Ideally an hourglass, wouldn't it though? Like just.
Yeah.
Do we have any board games that have that function?
Like a chess thing.
Yeah, a chess clock would be great.
That would be sick.
Maybe another time someone can bring one with them in preparation.
Next time everyone has to bring props that they might want to use.
Yeah. Funny hats, special hats.
What's you planning?
What did you suggest?
Silos. The poker silo.
Could we maybe just put a 15-minute total time limit? So because that's way too long.
Donald's brought the paintball gun.
Yeah.
And then, but what happens though if a time limit? Is it an automatic no to the rule, or does it require an instant judgment and vote?
I think I would suggest that the 15-minute time limit, it has to be an instant vote. So that's 15 minutes is just to cover the proposal and then the subsequent discussion,
Right.
and then it calls for the vote, which should only take a matter of seconds.
Right. But what if the rule? What if the rule is something that is in conflict with? Do we not worry about it? And if it seems to be in conflict with another rule, or
Well,
damaging the game?
maybe there is a sub-clause that you have, if the judge is brought into effect, the time limit increases.
What happens if you go over the time limit?
Well, then you have to go immediately to a vote.
Okay, so
If
if the discussions take,
if your vote and I don't vote, what's going to happen?
okay, if the discussion, it should go immediately to the judge because the discussion can go on for ages, and we might not know if it's in conflict, and the judge needs to decide
Yeah, okay.
on there, and we would have to trust in whoever is the judge in order to properly officiate whether or not it damages the game. So we'll all be particularly to blame against someone if they allow something that makes the next person in line win. Whoever proposed the rule is still bound by the fact they don't want the person else to win, so they could only really, really accidentally fuck the game. So I think it's fine.
Okay, well, so
Throw it to a judge. If he okays it, instant vote.
at the end of the 15 minutes. So that does mean that the person preceding the person suggesting the vote has to be paying attention.
So we've got rid of the vote. We've got rid of the general vote. The judge is now like.
No, if after 15 minutes
You're still discussing the
still
amendment.
discussing
If we voted beforehand,
we
it's fine.
we
Yeah,
throw it
yeah.
to the judge automatically,
Who then
but
decides
if
the terms of the
You might have
of the
just been
vote.
discussing it in general, and the rule itself is actually fine.
Yeah.
Can the
And then
judge
we just
can he
vote.
change the rule?
If he only.
Yeah.
So if a judge thinks it's fine, he can turn around and go, "I don't like that rule."
No,
Gaston
No,
is now in
but
charge.
the
of
point
vote."
of judgments is they're meant to be about the legality of the
Yeah.
rules in terms of whether or not they.
And,
fuck the
and
game.
you've got to still bear in mind that rule number 213, 212 still exists.
What's 212?
So if players disagree about the legality of the move or the interpretation or application of the rule, then the player preceding the one moving is to be the judge and decides the question. Disagreement of the purposes of this rule may be created by the insistence of any player. The protest is called invoking judgment.
What you're effectively saying is that after the time limit, 212 just comes into effect.
And then the
immediately.
judge can be challenged. So if Chris becomes the judge and proposes a question which we don't like, we are working through 212 by that point.
Maybe it only comes into effect if someone challenges it, or we just go to a vote. How about that?
Is someone timing this now?
No, because this vote
the rule hasn't gone into effect.
doesn't count.
I
And also, I do have a digital hour sound timer
Cool.
that has
Just
15
the
minutes.
accelerometer.
That must be an app. Is that an app?
It is an app, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, maybe at the end of 15 minutes, if someone challenges it, it goes to the judge, or it goes straight to the vote if no one does. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, if the judge comes, 15 minutes, the judge then goes, right, the vote is yay or nay, blah, 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 blah. And then if that is then challenged, then I think we have to allow for that to be a case.
Yeah, so the 50-minute time limit, if it's reached, it goes straight to the vote unless someone challenges it, in which it goes straight to the judge, then straight to the vote.
Straight to me.
Yeah.
I think the more we get to know what the rules are and their numbers,
reference 212 directly.
The more it will feel like a
Actual game.
today in Parliament, which is
So
ultimately
I don't know any vote but now apart from 212.
that's the start though. If I'm going to get rid of 212, just to pick you up.
And I suppose I get this at the start as well, since you proposed a rule that was incomplete, and since we discussed it, we're essentially going to vote unanimously for it.
Yeah, that's true. At what point does
It's
the
two
debate...
entire turns, so after I finished my second rule proposal, we only require a simple majority according to rule
203.
Yeah.
Read out 203.
All rule changes is adapted if and only if the vote is unanimous among the eligible voters.
Still.
If the rule is not amended by the end of the second complete circuit of turns, it automatically changes to require only a simple majority.
I might just propose that we change.
For 2 complete circuits.
Yeah. So, but as I have had to, I'll be on my third go when that comes into effect.
Yeah.
Propose
Yeah,
an amendment to all
that's
rules to say the all right dudes voters instead of eligible.
Okay, so this is what a 15-minute time limit is to be
The
enforced.
right on dudes.
If 15 minutes is reached, then the judge decides on the terms of the vote, and the vote takes place immediately.
This is a point though.
212.
Do we have to bring a fully formed rule to the table? Because what we seem to have happened here is he brought about 2/3 of the rule and then it's been fleshed out amongst the group.
I think that's the reality, is that you should come with a proposed rule,
Yeah.
and then it can
Yeah.
be amendments can be added in the 15 minutes.
I would describe it as a minor dick move where he deliberately proposed an incomplete rule, which then invoked rule 111, even though we all know very well he could have proposed a proper one.
What's 111?
In order to gain consensus, that is, if the rule change is proposed ambiguous, paradoxical, or destructive, and it was ambiguous.
Yeah.
So you can propose ambiguous rules, but you invoke 111. And that was done deliberately to engender discussion.
And then what does this conclusion have any implication for?
Well, we could say Warren had violated 111.
What would that
But
mean?
he didn't violate it, he invoked it, in a way. He just caused 111 came into effect because the rule was ambiguous.
Right.
We have to
So
vote
Rule 301, which I'm putting up to be voted on now,
Yes.
is from the time of this being passed, a 15-minute time limit is to be enforced. If 15 minutes is reached, then the judge decides on the terms of the vote, and the vote takes place immediately. 212 still allows the judge to be challenged.
I think,
We're going to vote on this.
There's
We-
not even a point in referencing 212 because that's just automatically there and above it.
and we're happy for you to just do it on the iPhone. Maybe if you just say it out loud. It doesn't need to be necessarily written down.
Yeah, so I will be, as the bookkeeper,
It'll be time.
will be in charge of the sound timer, and if someone wants to challenge my my
Well,
bias, then
that's not in the rules. So
Yeah.
unless you want to write down a challenge to the timekeeper, I think we'll trust you.
I think, yeah, we're only getting what's...
Okay, so all those in favour? All those
Yeah, I am in favour.
Have we engaged the voting procedure with a go round or?
well, that is
Yeah, it's...
Well, yeah, okay, this is fine. So yeah,
all those in favour, yay.
If I don't say yay, Chris is going to get 10 for being a dick. Because everyone knows this is an inherently good idea. Yeah, I'm going to say yes.
Okay, all those against?
On the basis that little things please little minds.
That vote has
Those
not
are
been
the
passed.
last points you ever...
That vote has not been passed. So I'm going to write the scores down now.
An early lead.
Cowboy.
Quick out the trap.
I've got that on my paper, but I made an active decision not to make a dick move in my first write.
No, it's good. It's good.
Okay, so at the end of that,
Well, he's ahead by 10 points, but I feel this might be what I'm interested in repealing, especially now.
so little Chris has just received 10 points, and 301 has not been voted into effect.
I was just testing the game's parameters with it.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
a cool-
so it's now Chris's turn.
I vote
we're
for.
going clockwise.
I'm going to propose Rule 301 to be back on the table.
Which one?
You have to read the
I
rule.
feel like I've been burned.
He's played the game.
At 15 minutes time.
I didn't roll my dice. I need to roll my
Oh
dice.
yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
5.
Nice.
Solid.
After going home to my estates and reconsidering the rule 301 proposal, I discussed it with my wife.
Did you put a
And
think
my-
tank together?
Oh, sorry, you're on. You lost 10 points, by the way. Warren.
Oh yeah, I did. I'm minus
Oh, yeah.
minus 5.
So I'm
Where-
after going home to my estates, I'm deciding on reconsidering Rule 301 at 15-minute time limit. 15 time limit is to be enforced. If 15 minutes is reached,
Well-
then the judge decides on the terms of the vote taking place immediately. 212 still allows
Well-
the judge to be challenged.
I think that was. We already established it was a clear rule. I think
Yeah.
if we vote against the rule that was proposed, since it is on, you're automatically a yes. Receive 10 points. I feel we should vote.
Yeah.
All in
All
favour? Great, 10 points for me and Dom.
No, no, isn't it? Isn't it the player who?
The players
Oh,
who vote
okay.
against winning proposals to receive
Yeah.
10 points each.
Okay, roll
So,
your
So I lose 10 points,
yep,
but I gain 6. So I've got 6 points.
and that's 10 points for me and Dom. And
So I
Dom.
just had a few to read.
No. I'm
No, well, he's not going to
interested
vote
in
again, is he?
Cowboy Aaron. Dom have got 10 points.
Like, you,
Why on earth did I vote for that? I hoped we wouldn't be dickish.
well,
There's no time limit. so-
I'm not going to say anything, but there's
Yeah,
a certain
yeah, yeah.
another. There's 2 things I want to fix first before we introduce
Okay.
a real rule.
What's the rule about the majority and as against the unanimity?
203.
Unanimity.
Do you mean the 10 points?
No, I mean
Oh.
the unanimity.
Can we rule
Yeah,
out that?
unanimous.
All rule
You-
changes to be
everything must be
adopted
unanimous.
if and only if the vote is unanimous among the eligible voters. This rule is not amended by the end of the second complete circuit, where 3/4 of one at the moment automatically changes to require only a simple majority.
Right, can I change that?
You can amend the rule,
I
yeah.
can amend the rule.
Proposed amendment?
My amendment of that rule is that
Are we
from the
separately
next
addicted?
turn, there only has to be a majority immediately.
Okay, so as I will have it down as a simple majority is needed for a rule change to be adopted.
Yeah.
Oh, and if we get voted in, should we put them on a washing line? Because otherwise we'll just have them voting on the table.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Well, if this is it's amended 203, should it go over the top?
It
of
goes,
203,
yeah.
or-
Amended ones go on top of the ones that, yeah. That's
So
how
do we rewrite the whole rule? in a
No,
way?
I just stick it on top
And we can look underneath
if we need to. Yeah, that's how this. Yeah.
Or can we literally amend the rule, perhaps, if possible?
Well, I'm going to try to keep these clean. So
I feel like the
reuse
writing's
them.
scrappy enough already. I'm not going to be able to follow it if it's.
Yeah. Feel free to walk around the table and have a look.
Yeah, yeah,
'cause this is
yeah.
helpful, if you want to.
I
We-
feel
we-
like everyone
okay.
needs an iPad. It all needs to be on like a big spreadsheet or something, editable.
Okay, well, so the amended 203 basically removes the 2 complete circuits before it reverts to the majority.
So
It would
yeah,
happen
I've
now.
got it as a simple majority for a rule change to be adopted.
So essentially, I'm just doing what the rule says, but a round and a half.
Okay, so
Yeah, see, but this is when I made the dickish move first of all, I assumed this was always in practice.
Yeah.
So I thought it would have gone ahead, but I'd just get 10 points. I
Right.
completely disagree. Like, I
Okay,
forgot that
so
I had to like get a
you-
full.
so say all those in favour. Just do all those in favour.
All those in favour?
All those against.
No, 10
10 points.
Roll the dice, Dom.
Alright. I lose 10 points, but I gain 2. So, you
You're
know,
at 12. Oh no, you're 2.
silver linings. Feels like your actual turn is where you lose points. And the rest of
So that amendment of 203 didn't come into effect. So Cowboy's turn.
Drink more pills.
I feel like I can wait another round.
I thought what?
Oh yeah, because that will eventually come into effect.
yeah.
So it was a cheap 10 points, I guess.
I feel like we're still feeling our way.
How dickish can you be?
It's just like in
I really want to
They
just
Think
say,
It's All Over, where the contestants are blindfolded and they have to feel the famous sportsman.
I really enjoyed the fact, like I said, I'm going back to my States and I discussed it with
You went back to your estates, I went back to my intergalactic seat.
There's a sense of as if rules may not pass entirely until we reach the majority stage. So I can just promote something simple that's like a vague idea. Okay, I'm thinking I'd like to propose a new rule that voting is no longer done by a question and hand raising, but in the same clockwise order in which the game proceeds person by person. So as not, goes in there, but it's so as not to allow basically someone to, they go who, and then people immediately put their hands up, someone goes, after 10 points. If you know what I mean.
I think you don't need to think about the hands up, because that's not even a rule, that was self...
and I feel this would clarify it if you were asked in a clockwise direction.
The voting must be done in a clockwise direction.
but this feels weird because then like you always have the advantage of knowing what's going to come before.
So it's the same advantage given to most board games, but it's a known quantity. And without thinking through this too much beforehand, I didn't want to overdo the time limit or discussion, it's a rule, it's there.
Okay, so Rule 301 as it stands is voting is enacted using the clockwise system.
Yeah, I think that covers it. So, although that's not in effect now, so all those in favour? All those opposed? 10 points to Chris and Tom.
Roll your dice.
Why would you ever vote for anything?
The first 2 rounds, just don't vote.
But even after that, you still get 10 points.
You still get 10
but it'll
points.
be brought in, so very quickly the 10 points for not voting will be gone. But while that's in, you might as well juice
Well,
it.
no, that's going to remain. It's just the idea of a simple majority. Unfortunately, there's 4 of us. And we still haven't established something like that, which would hopefully allow the person going after the person who proposes it to,
I imagine the first game
stick
will be a
their
more
neck out.
stickish game before we realise all the intricacies of it, and then gradually we'll play it better and cleverer.
Oh, actually, you lost, didn't you? So you're you get minus 10.
Yeah.
And you get minus 10 as well, don't you?
Yeah, everyone has a minus 10 from their rounds. I don't.
Yeah.
So
Right,
you've got an alright score,
I've
but you
got
might
plus
want to just do
16,
round by round and then a
haven't
total.
I?
Yeah, I'm going to do it. So as it stands, going into the next round, I'm on minus 5. Dom is on 12. Little Chris is on 16. And Cowboy is on... What, roll your dice?
4.
You're on 14.
Okay, wrapping up those points to the victor. Can he convince us?
I feel like Mr. Democracy over there is going to like...
It's how to get around this problem we've created. I should have voted in favour of it. I regret it now.
All you have to do though is wait for a majority to arrive.
But we may have deadlocks.
Then we need to bring in a deadlock rule. What if
But
there's
the
a deadlock on a
so let's
deadlock?
create such a good deadlock rule that at least 3 people vote for it.
Can we create a coalition rule?
No, you just need like a different thing.
No, I feel like we're
if it's
conspiring
2
on
all,
future
we'll
rules.
roll the die or something.
Okay, I want to make an amendment to 206. Actually, no, I want to repeal Rule 206.
What's
What's
206?
206?
When a proposed rule change is defeated, the player who proposed it loses 10 points. I want to totally repeal that law.
I feel like we're actually part
So-
of this. I was what the rules.
We
He
don't.
doesn't know that one.
Yeah, okay. So, but at the moment we gain quite a lot by voting against it.
You've got to bear in mind that everyone will be affected by this in the next term. Although I get no benefit from achieving it. You see what I mean?
Understood. So shall we vote?
You wanna get
You're
rid
all
of-
going to get affected by this in the next turn because I won't vote for any of your amendments in the next round because I need the points. 'Cause
I'm
you put me
feeling
in this-
deeply conservative. I feel like it's the switch. I don't know why, but it's the way it's been for a while now, and I quite like it.
Okay,
do feel we
so
are-
I'm gonna-
We're in Parliament because of it.
Okay.
I'm not like...
okay, all those against this movement, all those for it.
I feel like you've worded it in a way which makes yourself.
Yeah, and because we didn't establish any manner of voting, we're just waiting around. Like,
Okay,
yeah.
right.
If we
So
we might
I
reach the
propose the
15
repeal of 206. All those in favour?
Repealing 206.
We haven't got a time limit yet, have we?
All those
15
against?
Yeah, I'm against.
I'm against.
You can't be against.
I think you can be against.
Can you? Where does it say that in the rules?
You've opposed.
Well, maybe it doesn't matter. You can be against, but
So if you propose a rule and then you're against it, you just don't get any points, but you don't lose 10 points.
But you wouldn't be able to get. That's fair enough because you wouldn't necessarily be able to get the motion through, would you?
okay. I think this is the question: Does Warren constitute an eligible voter?
Yeah.
But is he a voter?
Yeah.
Or did
Yeah.
he say? Did he ask for the vote? And this goes to the heart of the game. Does Warren's proposal have an automatic vote, or are we the eligible voters who then vote on it
I feel
with a simple majority?
As a member of this Duma, he's entitled to vote. So he's entitled to vote for his own proposal because it's
For or against?
for or against.
As it
If
stands.
we're all entitled to vote
If Warren's
anyway.
allowed to vote, then it stands to reason he's allowed to vote against his own thing. So the question is, does Warren have a vote?
Or does the player have a
Should we
vote?
Well, no,
change the rule?
I would say
That's
I
one.
think that's the judgment is, and it may require a judgment. The question is whether or not Warren is eligible to vote, and whether or not that's an automatic vote for yes.
What eligible to
I
vote
think
at all?
I think this is.
I
I
think
according
think
to
that the player
question,
should have a vote.
Can we reword this?
I
though?
from
Because
a-
are we questioning Warren's vote generally?
whether
Or are we
it's-
questioning Warren's vote in this particular instance? Because
it's-
generally, I would have a different answer.
we can only question it generally, and I think it is a matter possibly for judgment whether or not Warren gets the vote at all, and whether or not the vote is automatically a yes.
Well, I feel that in the nature, if maybe you want to enshrine this in a rule, that the person who proposes the rule has to vote for it, because I think I have highlighted a flaw in the system where if you think your vote's about to be overturned, you are just going to vote against it to save points. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So, as that rule as it stands can't pass because there's not been a unanimous vote for it. What there's actually been a unanimous vote against it. So we move on to the next turn by the nature of the rules, but there's still a question about whether or not.
Yeah, it's not unanimous either way, so
Yeah.
we move on.
Yeah.
But
It's
now,
the question of whether
now
or
there's
not
a loophole.
It's a loophole where he's lost 10 points for proposing a losing vote, and then gained 10 points for voting against
I
it.
think in this instance,
Yeah.
that's happened. Now in Chris's turn, we can choose to address that, or we can allow the same loophole.
I think
to exist.
I think the loophole exists and persists, and we
Yeah.
essentially
Until
we
someone
took the
addresses
vote.
Should we count that vote as correct
We-
vote, or do we call that entire vote into question?
I think-
I want to discuss the.
You could call up the judge.
I want to discuss the order in which we've just proposed it because
Hmm.
we voted and we've had this conversation about whether this vote should have ever happened.
Well, you can check.
Are we
Yeah.
retroactively saying that a vote never happened?
Did we?
We-
I don't know.
you-
We completed the vote. I didn't see all the hands even go up for either. We almost just sat there.
We just said that.
Well,
Or
okay.
what happened was we didn't complete the vote.
Warren
Warren put his
voted.
hand up saying against first,
Okay, why
Okay,
don't
yeah.
we?
and we immediately went.
But
launched
that
into
means we
discussion.
move on to the next one because it's not unanimous.
No, but we haven't voted.
But we
yet.
haven't.
Four.
In a way, we
Unanimous
haven't.
four.
We haven't completed the voting.
We never
But
voted.
unanimous for. So as soon as someone votes against in this stage, we move on
No,
because it's not unanimous
because
for.
we might vote for it and not get any points.
That's true.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
You were the only one to vote against. We didn't vote. So the vote hasn't been carried through.
Okay, right.
We were debating the
Well,
vote.
maybe that's. So I can't. I don't think it's fair that I would change my vote. Or can I do that? Can I change my vote?
I think. Well, I feel like we would just call. What was proposed? The repealing of 206, which is
When a proposed rule change is defeated, the player who proposed it loses 10 points.
and you create a loophole where they kind of don't really lose the points anyway.
But this will have effect later in the game on other rules.
But you already voted
Well-
against it, so it's already going to fail.
But you guys still have the
Well,
opportunity to
I,
vote.
I wouldn't want to call the judgment. I felt quite happy with the people votes count and they can vote however they want. So should we vote?
Okay, so this is the problem because it's all those for and then all those against is problematic.
We haven't changed that yet.
Okay, all those four repealing 206.
Okay,
All those against. Yeah, okay.
great.
So I
Everyone gets 2 points.
You
Negate-
gain 10 points and lost 10 points.
but I rolled a 1, so I get 1 point.
Okay.
You all get
10.
10. Okay, it's on to your turn.
I propose that you can have 26 rather than 25 mutatable rules.
Which is an amendment to 209.
209.
Okay.
Are you doing such pointless
Yeah.
rule that everyone will pass it? No, but surely everyone will go against it anyway, just for the sake of it, because who cares?
I'm waiting for voting reform. I like
think
a
voting
Lib
reform can
Dem.
only happen once we've got past the two rounds.
First past the post is fundamentally undemocratic.
Okay. Do you want to call
All
the
those
vote?
in favour? I don't know if Chris heard them.
I heard.
All those in favour?
No.
All those against?
Sorted. Roll dice.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So I get 0 points,
Yeah.
plus an extra 3. So I'm on 19.
No,
Oh, am I?
29.
Yes! Way better than I was doing. Oh yeah, because I renamed them last.
Dom's made it up to 32, and I'm on 34, but obviously.
I'm on 6.
It's because you haven't been yet, so
Okay,
you don't
Dom.
lose points.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're obviously getting behind at this stage.
This rule still will persist even when it's simple majority.
Which rule?
The voting against.
The voting against rule.
Happened to a point where we're so annoyed by it, we change it.
Can I request a refresher of all the mutable rules?
Is that your rule?
No.
We'll give you a quick over.
Okay, 201, all clockwise order. 202, each turn consists of proposing and voting on a rule and throwing a die. 203, only can be adopted if unanimous until the second circuit.
Yeah.
204, if and when rule changes can be adopted without unanimity, the player who voted against... well, there is a problem because we were unanimous against my one, so none of us should have got 10 points.
So
I think
There's a retrograde rule, we can't go back.
no, that's only rules that affect the retrograde.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel comfortable saying that
Can we now have a vote on this?
so. I should have lost 10.
if and when
No,
rule
no.
changes can be adopted.
I should have.
Wait. If and when rule changes can be adopted at unanimity, no one should have been receiving 10 points.
Yeah.
If and when.
Yeah, none of us should have got 10 points.
So
So I can just take 10 points off everyone.
we can take a lot of points of everyone.
What? Can you read that rule again?
If and when rule changes can be adopted without
So
unanimity.
we haven't passed that point yet, so no one should be receiving or not receiving 10
Okay,
points.
okay, cool. Right. This is useful then.
So-
Keep on going.
So shall we take those? I'll continue this and then we'll go back to it. An adopted rule change takes full effect at the moment by the completion of the vote that adopted it. So that's no retroactive rules.
Yeah.
When a proposed rule change is defeated, the player can propose it loses. The person who proposed it loses 10 points. Each player always has exactly one vote. The winner is the first player to achieve 100 points. At no time there will be more than 25 useful rules. Players may not conspire or consult on the making of future rule changes unless they are teammates. If two or more mutable rules conflict with one another, or if two or more immutable rules conflict with one another, then the rule with the lowest ordinal number then takes precedence. If players disagree about legality, then the judge is called into question. If the rules are changed so that further play is impossible, the person following them wins.
Okay, well, my proposal would be to retroactively correct
It's not
this.
your
But we're also not on a rule. There's not a rule, but clearly the actual
We've got-
scores are
the-
negative 10 points for everyone,
Yeah.
plus an extra negative 10, an extra negative 10, plus everyone's dice rolls is the actual
Why have I
score.
got extra negative 10?
Because you've proposed two rules and had them both defeated.
But you gain points from get the
But
rules.
none of us should have gained those points. It's written
So
down.
you should.
I shouldn't have received my points because we were unanimous.
But you should have
in
received your
voting
points.
against
No one should have ever received any of those 10 points. The only points that have existed are dice rolls and people losing points for failing to get rules through.
So none of us should. You should have loads
No,
of
but
points
the
to you as
person
well.
can get 10 points if it's not unanimous and they vote against it.
No.
Until the unanimous.
If and when rule changes can be adopted without unanimity, which hasn't occurred yet.
That's only when it's the majority.
Okay, I see.
So I would venture to say that the actual scores are the dice rolls.
Just the dice roll.
It's just the
and
dice
it
rolls.
plus the fact that the people haven't passed rules.
Okay, so we can do that.
I know it's outside of.
Should we vote on this?
Well, no, that's the rules. We have to enforce the rules. The rules aren't.
But we only just discovered this on the thing. I mean, what if we went back to? We should almost start again. Everyone gets the points from their first dice roll. We've got a clear understanding of the game, but we have kind of fucked it by not obeying the rules.
Well,
Players must always abide by the rules. It says it there.
we can revert to 0 plus our first.
But yeah, you might.
Yeah, let's do that. What's my one was 6, wasn't it?
Nice. Yours was 6.
Yeah, nice one. I got a 4.
Dom's was 2. Mine was 5, and Chris's was 4. Dom,
Well, then we start from Dom.
might as well.
I feel like you two should regain a unanimous vote, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
Go
Dom,
back.
yeah, on a unanimous. In effect, Dom is going first.
From the very beginning.
Yeah, so
So
Dom's the
everyone
first
has the
person.
same amount.
One more
Yeah.
round of unanimous requirement, and then the rule disappears.
Okay, so we have to go back round to Dom.
Yeah, so
And then
Dom is the 5th person to propose a rule, effectively.
Yeah, okay. That
At
seems
which
fair,
point,
yeah.
203 and 204 switch.
Yeah. Okay.
So we don't win points by voting
Okay.
against.
If you vote,
No, it's
yeah,
round-
yeah,
that
yeah.
only.
I didn't know
later
that,
when
and
it
then I
changes
just
to a
forgot it.
simple
Yeah.
Then that does make more sense.
Well,
Yeah.
That's why the
we
massive
managed to definitely expose that problem.
Yeah. Okay, Dominic.
I want to amend the rule that says that everyone has one vote, and I want each turn everyone to roll, and the number of they get on that die. That's the amount of votes they have.
Okay, so a suggestion
So
for.
it's essentially randomising who has power in each round.
So you want to propose Rule 301.
Amended.
No, so you want to. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. You want to amend 207.
Yeah. So that the amount of votes each person has in a round is randomised by a die.
So how does that? So your number of votes is determined by an additional roll of the die.
So when it comes to voting stage, everyone rolls. If you roll a 6, for example, your vote count. You have 6 votes.
Rotten
I'm not
voters.
going to write this down.
It's like random.
So that this goes
It's like
straight.
random rotten
So
voters.
essentially, we're
And-
using a single die to randomise the weight of someone's vote.
And I would say this isn't unclear, or ambiguous, or paradoxical. So, shall we vote?
We can vote.
It's just a simple changing of the vote system.
Okay, so call it.
All those against. Oh, look at that!
Well, okay. I don't know why
No,
you
but-
voted against your own one, but
No, but that doesn't. You can't get 10 points on that. You've lost 10 points.
Oh yeah.
yeah, but that's okay. Is my
Roll your
vote,
dice.
is my voting reform sheet still around?
One sec.
One.
So you lost 10, didn't you? So
Yeah.
minus 7. What was the rule you suggested?
Perhaps. Let's see. If there
This
is,
one.
is there one that is it mentioned in here, or should we put it in?
No, it's the way we vote isn't mentioned.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'd like to re-propose a new 301 again. That the voting is done in a clockwise system. All those in favour? All those against? Cool. 10 points down.
I have reasons for that.
I have
because-
reasons for not doing that.
Yeah, because I actually think it's not
You can
any
watch
fairer.
people.
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
watch people as they vote.
Okay.
But it's definitely fairer than
5,
it's the
yeah.
person being able to sit indefinitely. So I got a 5.
Okay, so I want to suggest 301. Voting is enacted. Okay. We have to figure out a way of voting that happens all at the same time, so that no one is able to. You can second guess, but you can't read how someone's going to vote. So I think it becomes down to raising
Oh, I've had an idea.
So you're not raising a rule, you're raising a debate.
No. I'm saying, okay. I vote that voting should take place simultaneously, and to vote for something, you raise a flat palm, and to vote against it, you raise a fist. Okay?
Yeah, you need to do something like that.
Yeah,
Otherwise
you
it
have
won't
to.
happen simultaneously, will it?
I don't feel that covers it that well.
So, okay, I
Oh,
propose...
actually, that's, yeah, sort of. Because you could, 1, 2...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 1, 2, yes. 1, 2, no.
Great. I prefer paper or scissors, but this is a little both of these.
Well, how about
I enjoy both of them for
everybody does that symbol but under the table, and then you all lift it.
Yeah, but then you
above
can
the table.
change it depending on who's lifted it first. Ooh.
I think it's got to be...
stumble.
okay,
Okay,
No.
we could each have a 2p coin that we put down on the table, heads or tails.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
quite nice.
that's poetic.
If everyone's got a 2
Okay, so through the discussion that's taken place,
Was that an ambiguous thing raised to it?
Yeah, I'm not happy with how ambiguous the
I'm
start
calling this a
is,
judgment.
but
Are we not? I'm not calling this judgment, but someone else should.
okay. So, do you want me to propose my original vote?
Feels like we're workshopping.
Or is an amendment makes a difference, or otherwise question of value? It's just an amendment, or you're against
I don't think it's
proposal before the vote.
paradoxical.
A reasonable. It was ambiguous. A reasonable
No, it
time.
wasn't. It was really clear.
No, because you didn't suggest. You
Okay, so if it's if you argue it's
It's
unclear,
Are we discussing
then we
the
go up
term-
to debate.
No, but are we discussing the term
Right,
ambiguous? Because it wasn't ambiguous, but it wasn't fully formed. Ambiguous and fully formed are the
It's
same
clear
thing.
that you want everyone to vote simultaneously.
and also decides the time.
The actual method that that's done is ambiguous.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what was
So
the-
my
Versus
proposal was
ambiguous?
I propose that everyone votes simultaneously.
did we enact the 15-minute time limit, or
No.
did we all vote
No.
against it?
We all voted
it's not
against.
through.
Because you're all idiots.
Nothing has got through yet, obviously.
Yeah.
This
Okay, my original vote, and Dom is right. Okay.
Well, you get to re-propose a
Oh.
rule. So yeah.
I propose everyone votes simultaneously using the method suggested by Christopher Lawrence, which is using a 2p piece. Heads meaning yes, tails meaning no.
Yeah.
Sorry, heads against or heads to, facing up?
I think
Is it facing
heads
up?
is a yes. It feels more truthful.
No,
Sometimes.
but are you judging it on whether it's facing up
Yeah.
Place it down
or
on
whether
the
you're
table
facing
and cover
down?
it, and then everyone reveals simultaneously. If head
Oh,
is up,
right. I was
it's
thinking
true.
about it, so like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's the face that's touching the table that counts.
Yeah.
So that's no.
That'd
Yeah,
be on
so
the
UVC
audio.
light products.
Yeah, it's quite
Is it
worrying.
no?
Some guy just handed this to me on the street. It's like,
Yes.
clean the unseen. The first instance is going over your knives
Huh, okay.
with a UV light. Sort of, I feel that's a product
I
designed
don't
for
want
a
to see where all
certain
the
sort
sperm
of
is in
people.
the house. I really don't.
No, I just, that looks like evidence clearing to me.
Just everything.
No, but
Absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Every house,
As long as it's
everywhere.
not on you. But then the worrisome knowledge that it is on you.
I'm
it's-
full of the stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
do you know this is being recorded?
I don't give a shit.
I know, okay, that's fine.
can
Yeah.
have it
I just
for
thought I should tell you, yeah.
Yeah, no, the fences, the roads outdoors,
Yeah.
Greg's.
I just really love that. It's like, I'm genuinely surprised how much of our stuff is covered in cum. I'd have thought it'd be localised. But
Okay,
Okay, now I'm going to read this out.
I've got. Does that necessarily show up any different from any other type of stain, though? There's just like an assumption that everything is that.
Your comment
Due
radioactive.
to like teen movies.
Yeah.
Like, me to believe that if
Well,
you
there used to
show
be a TV program where they'd go into the
anything
room and they'd go, right, so we're going to do the UV challenge, and the assumption was that it would just show up cum.
Yeah,
And then it
yeah.
goes
It's 'cause it's
on,
sort of
and everyone
in
would
these, like,
be
spurts
covered.
on the wall.
Yeah, and everyone would be like, well, that's what that guy did in the Degree Show, didn't he, the year before us? That Ross guy.
Oh yeah.
He ejaculated on a
Actually
wall
was.
just UV.
in the sculpture studio.
that's not a degree shot.
It's a degree of a show.
There's a lot of people having
Only
sex
the
in boxes and
marking.
pooing in jars. Just
Yeah.
Bell jars, putting in bell jars.
yeah, it's as disgusting as
But yeah, it's
possible
Pendleton.
thing that you can elevate to the dignity of the art object. So that's it's
I was
easy
like,
to do.
oh yeah,
Maybe I could stop pissing and shitting everywhere and call myself an artist.
go
And you need
for
to
it.
find the right place.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
you have to do it- you have
that's
to
what
do it
I'll
in
do
context,
That's
yeah.
what I'll do everywhere.
Yeah. Oh no, but I think you've got to be really
audience. You're
targeted with the way you shit.
If you go to Alice
The
and Jack's,
consistency.
but if you're invited to Alice and Jack's, it doesn't matter whether you're just doing it at Alice and Jack's.
Yeah.
If you go to Alice and Jack's and shit, you're just
You're just another guy shitting in the middle of the floor.
You're like someone just slashing a painting that fits one of your
Fathers for Justice have been sticking boys to constable paintings. They've given up on their political involvement and gone back to whatever it is they were doing before. I like them.
Yeah.
They're not interested in justice, they're just in the Fathers for Justice have gone back to just fucking with things. Which, is, to be fair, is a better protest against the system.
As long as it's not their sons, everyone's happy.
Fathers who've got
Or
boys
someone
with
else's
kids.
son.
If it turned out it was someone else's son, or correct. Okay, what was the rule?
Everyone votes simultaneously using a 2-pence piece. Heads up for yes. Heads up is for /yes, or tails up is against no.
Okay.
Okay, all those in
Is there
favour?
a majority?
Don't like how much power you think you've got.
I don't get any points for this.
All those against?
No, I haven't voted yet.
But no, but
I'm
that's the
voting in
problem.
favour.
Okay.
Yeah?
So 301's been passed. Yes, motherfuckers, we've got a rule.
I think we've all felt the need.
Okay, I'm going to go and get some
All
4
game
2-pence
points.
pieces.
Yay!
Put it on the.
They put it up top or on here? Maybe behind?
Yeah, behind us. Yeah.
Okay, 301. I like it. I feel we can.
I feel like there should be another group of people that then ultimately just reject 301 out of hand until the third time we've taken 301. That's feel more like civilization. I don't know about this.
Does the game end with Gandhi nuking us or demanding all of our corn for no reason? What's going to happen now is Gandhi's going to turn up, set his own game of NOMIC up here, like right there, and then complain we're too close to his borders, and he knocks all our stuff off the table.
I'm going to build a series of castles along here and build them with peasants so I can fly more arrows.
Okay, so I now roll, and that's my points, isn't it?
Yeah.
But no one gets any extra points.
Are we all on,
Happy now,
weren't we all on a large number of negative points,
No,
having
no.
proposed the rule and had them fail?
We voted.
No, because
Oh, we got rid of all the negatives, so far only me and Dom have negative points.
no, but you didn't lose any points.
But we didn't pass. Wait,
Oh yeah, you should have lost points.
when a rule's any time
Yeah, it should
when a proposal
yeah,
remains
yeah.
defeated, player loses 10 points. But yeah,
you should
which is
do-
fine. Although I feel bad because Dom was already on the small, but he proposed a mental rule. He was already on the
Hey.
smallest number of points.
That rule was good.
Whereas I lost I had relatively many.
I wanted to make a vote for
You're on
like
3.
2 people since we chose to 10 people.
You're on 3.
Due to the more
Where's that one coming
population.
That's terrible.
Well, we got
No
this.
Is it my rule now?
It is your turn.
I'm voting
we
for a
have to
change from 2 p pieces to 10 p pieces due to the reflect nature of the prosperity of our country increasing, judged based solely
I think
on
that
that
result-
result.
so unnecessary.
Where are
So
we?
necessary.
That is just
Um,
dumb.
Can
There's
I
a rule
vote-
in here where
Can
don't do shit. Come up with a proper rule.
Alright, I vote for the mutable rules to go from so it's 25 at the moment to being unlimited.
How many do we have to start with here?
13.
13.
All still in effect.
13
It's,
in
it's
effect.
so
Well,
dunno.
that seems clear to me. So
is
do we
clear.
vote?
Yeah, should we vote?
Heads for, tails against.
Oh, cool. We can work out our new vote.
Oh yeah.
Lay it on the table. Cover it up.
Not a fan of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just reveal it. Tails.
Tails.
Against.
So yeah, the motion is defeated. Christopher Lawrence is minus 10.
I'm having that jukebox.
Plus, Christopher Mayer, sir.
Chris, I'm having the boombox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Did you get it working?
What am I on now then?
Nice.
Oh, it's just literally
Minus 3.
just the cassette
What's
there.
Dom on?
No, I just need to install
Minus
like
7.
that
Shit.
bracket, but I'm worried because it's going to be on the wall, you know, where the bathroom is.
So
I'm
hard
not
to come
sure
up
how
with rules
strong
now.
that
You
is.
guys know that
Use plugs.
screwy system.
Okay.
So now
I'm
we
going to need some
are.
help.
I can help later, but
Yeah, yeah.
we're
Are we into
we've been
majority?
on it for a
We
while.
don't. We no longer need a majority.
We
Cool,
know
man.
we need
Yeah,
to-
not too difficult.
Are we still taking off 10 points?
No, sorry. We no longer need unanimity. We now need solely a majority.
But are we also still taking off 10 points for a failed rule?
Yeah, that's still a rule. Yeah.
Oh, should I make that one?
I'm proposing an amendment to the rule where you need
Wait.
100 points to win.
208.
And obviously,
Right.
you only get your 10 points voting against the winning proposal. We did not read that rule.
Oh,
yeah.
So it was a losing proposal, so you don't. Oh,
Yeah, we haven't given ourselves points.
alright.
We just took points off you because you lost.
Yeah.
My rule is to 100 points to win. Also, to include minus 100 as a winning score.
So say that again. What's your proposal?
My proposal is to amend the 100 points to win to say that also minus 100 is the winning score.
So yeah,
The
100.
first player to reach either 100 or minus 100 wins.
Alright, let me see how this is going to go now.
Okay.
Oh, son of a. Sorry. Are we good?
Are you on the table? Okay, reveal. Tails.
I voted
Tails.
So,
So-
it doesn't get the majority.
It's not a majority.
for it. And it didn't win. So.
This is interesting. Because it
Oh no, 2 each.
2 each.
It's not a majority though, is it? You need
So,
a majority.
yeah, we
It
require.
isn't a majority.
The rule's pretty clear. You need a majority to win.
Yeah, 51% is the majority.
Look who's turned
Interesting.
into the rule master. They're clear.
So,
Well,
I say
It
this
didn't pass.
advisedly.
go and roll the
Your
dice.
best interest in days. In mind.
3.
I'm doing it as a friend.
Really like.
Okay, Mr. Lawrence.
What did they do? What did
Okay.
George do to close Parliament? He threw that massive thing on the floor, didn't he? What's the
Where
big
is-
metal scepter? Yeah,
Could-
when he closed
Would it be alright
Parliament.
to amend 3?
Roll-
Oh, you want to keep
yeah,
them,
but
but. Okay, I'm going to propose an amendment to.
Cromwell.
Listen.
Lads, an amendment to Rule 203.
Yeah.
So that it requires a simple majority, although in the case where the vote is split evenly, 2 to 2, but it's split evenly, it is decided by a flip of the judge's coin. So in cases of halves, the judge, who is the person proceeding, flips a coin, and that decides whether or not the rule passes.
Okay, that is very clear. It's not ambiguous.
That's clear. I don't think.
It's effective governance.
I don't think that contributes anything.
Okay, vote.
Ready?
Reveal. Tails.
Tails.
Ah, heads.
What? That's a really good one.
You guys are well conservative.
Okay, I propose that in the
Don't
case.
forget to do negative
Oh yeah,
10
sorry, yeah, negative 10.
and throw me in a +2.
It's essentially the more the game opens up. If you make it easier for rules to come in,
Yeah.
the more the game will open up.
I
The more
yeah.
chaotic it will become. or the more
That-
time will be spent debating.
Clearly, both of our ideas were too chaotic for the group.
I propose that
Oh, the group didn't have enough like
In
people
the-
to decide if it's too bad or not.
in the case of a split vote, an appointed adjudicator
The judge.
makes the decision.
So the judge decides.
The judge has his vote counts for half in that case.
How do
The
you-
appointed judge.
How do you appoint the judge?
Wait, for,
That's the
for an
proposal.
extra half.
That's the proposal.
So the preceding person constituting the judge always has 1.5 votes.
No, I didn't say judge, adjudicator. It's
So
a different role.
But who's the appointed adjudicator?
That would be the person who's appointed into that position.
So how are they appointed into that
Everybody
position?
asked that, but he said it was
That's the proposal.
No, that proposal is very unclear.
Yeah, now it goes into the
I might
discussion.
quite ambiguous.
No, but the rule. I would like a proposal of how they.
Okay, I will make it. I will make a. Okay, for every 2 circuits, there is an appointed adjudicator, which is voted before those 2 circuits are achieved using the established 2p use.
So every
2
so
circuits.
an adjudicator lasts for
That's
2
what you're
circuits.
Yeah.
How's the adjudicator decided for those 2 circuits?
Someone can put themselves forward, and if they are challenged, then it goes down to
It's fine, we'll be able to control him.
a heads or
This
tail
feels
vote.
like the debate that Anakin and Natalie Portman had, where he's like, I think they should be made to agree. And she's like, but Anakin, that sounds like a dictatorship.
I don't understand
Okay.
how we need to understand how the adjudicator
Okay,
is
so
appointed.
if someone wants to be the adjudicator, they put themselves forward.
Right.
Okay. If there's more than one person who wants to be the adjudicator, then it is voted using the 2p system.
This is quite sinister.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I'm reading about his policies.
so the 2p system requires a majority for an adjudicator to be appointed.
No, because you'll be voting for one person or the other.
So you,
Yeah, but if it's 2 and...
what if we're voting?
Okay, if it's tied,
But what if
Okay.
more?
If it's tied, we have to create a system
three
where
or four.
an adjudicator-
A total of 4 people could put themselves forward for adjudicator.
yeah.
And if the vote
okay.
is split,
4 by 4, one way each.
Rock, paper, scissors. is an alternative. It then becomes a chance thing again, but that person is
Surely the adjudicators would have to be randomised, because why would anyone vote for anyone else to be an adjudicator?
So wait,
just because the adjudicator is solely
so wait,
about making sure.
the adjudicator is ruling in votes.
Second.
So the adjudicator rules on votes, and every 2 turns, the process of appointing an adjudicator begins again.
Yeah.
So the adjudicator's like
So
the
the
queen
adjudicator
signing
keeps,
the-
keeps changing.
At the moment,
but
they're-
it's not random each time.
So they're appointed
So
by
the
they're
person
appointed by
could-
a vote, and if the vote is split, it's by rock paper scissors.
yeah.
So, it's a long one.
Yeah, but I think but the reason I don't like the judge system is because it's the person who's just been scorned or been, they have vested interest in the following person succeeding.
So, if it's equal, someone random is assigned
Or
to win.
alternative way of doing it is the adjudicator every 2 circuits becomes the person following clockwise.
Why don't we just do, yeah, that seems quite nice. You each get a turn with an adjudicator.
I don't mind the idea of an adjudicator, but I'm interested in the way of how they're appointed, and we require a way out of deadlocks.
I vote for myself to
Which
have
is the
entry
adjudicator.
line as adjudicator.
The adjudicator, I think it should be voted on. So not everyone might not want to be the adjudicator.
children through Gekko.
Not everyone might not want to be the adjudicator, so that's why there's a vote. And if it's deadlocked, then it goes to rock paper scissors. If there's 3 people, it should go to rock paper scissors straight away.
And rock paper scissors done in a elimination fashion.
No, just 1 round done.
But when we go 4 in, it's possible for.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
So it's
You follow the rules of rock paper scissors, where if there's still if
So
2
it-
people go.
But if 3 rocks against 1 scissors, it's scissors loses, not
Loses.
scissors win.
Yes, no scissors out. Yeah. Like rock paper, you follow the rules of rock paper scissors, which are
To decide an adjudicator in the event. No, for 2 whole rounds.
yeah.
Do we have to do this
In the
as
event that
In the
there's
event that there's a tied score, his has more than the weight of 1 vote to swing it.
Half
This
a vote,
feels
yeah.
like Greek democracy. I'm going to vote
half a vote.
very favourably and friendly for this.
So we're essentially electing someone randomly
We elect someone.
to swing
Based on a
votes.
Well, we
battle of-
elect someone democratically, or failing again to do anything democratically, we do it by rock paper scissors.
It's like combat.
That's the proposal. I'll write that down if it's passed. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
Okay.
So many clauses.
Lay down your coins.
Yeah.
Okay, and reveal.
Oh, incidentally,
Well,
where are we at with the 10 points for and against?
we haven't.
Now that it's a majority system,
If you vote against the winning proposal, which means you're the only dissenting person, you get 10 points.
and you always lose 10 points if you propose a bad choice.
yeah.
So you have to be the only person voting against
Yeah.
in our scenario.
Yeah. That's why that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And
Reveal. Heads.
Heads.
Tails.
Oh.
So
what's
what?
the Chris?
Where's it? What did you say? Heads.
Yeah, it passes.
Heads.
It passes.
I get 10
if
points.
passes, Chris gets 10 points.
I switched mine after you said, but wait. I went, okay.
But that's good because we've got
Yeah.
a system for deadlock now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm very
okay.
happy with it.
Well,
and my 10 points.
Wait a sec. Let's not move on. So you get 10 points, yeah?
There'd have been
Okay.
a more poetic irony if that had been deadlock
You
there.
don't-
Yeah.
Do you get 10 points for just suggesting?
No. I get 2 because my die.
And he doesn't lose 10 finally.
So I'm just going to quickly write that up in shorthand if everyone's okay with that, yeah?
Why are you doing that?
I'm still-
Haven't we passed your last 2 as well?
Yeah. Second?
Didn't we pass both of your last 2?
Well, out from the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone
Yeah.
Okay. Beers?
Beers?
I'd have the beer if there's one going.
I don't have any cash on me, but
I
I'm getting
can
another
give you.
set.
I'll buy a couple later. Yeah.
I'll go. Yeah.
Snacks?
I'll get some crisps and stuff.
A big bowl of crisps.
How do you spell adjudicator?
I'll come with you.
ADJ.
Where are we
Yeah,
off to? The Lord Contract?
yeah. Can we put the decider, if you don't mind?
Okay.
I know that's I know they're gone, but
A decider
I'm getting a good George Buffy on the decider.
adopted.
Because there's too many things like eligible and mutable. Can't we like say permanent decider
Yeah.
and like the fucker?
Is appointed every 2 circuits.
Can we count rounds in any manner?
What do you mean?
Like
Oh, how many turns there's been? I can do it. Yeah, on this.
yeah, or just even like just something to put in that we can tally. Just do a tally of rounds.
Right. Well, every
it's
round.
every time it's your turn, because this constitutes the first institution of an adjudicator.
Oh, of course. Yeah, that's a good point.
Can you
yeah.
put a knock for this being round 1? And then
From now on.
yeah, and so
Okay.
this would be 1. You put a mark, and when you put the third mark, we have to do another vote.
Yeah, okay.
According to the rule you're about to write.
Yeah, okay.
It'll
Let me
probably
try-
take until they get back with beer.
A decider is appointed every 2 circuits. His votes will count for 1. Oh, is this an amendment? Or is it a new rule?
This is the appointment of an adjudicator with a vote who
Yeah, but it's invalid because of 207.
207.
Each player always has exactly 1 vote. So I've got to amend 207.
Except in the case of right.
Yeah. But I'll do it all in 207, so I amend
So
207.
207 also now constitutes the entirety of the
Each
appointing
player
of
always has exactly 1
adjudicators.
vote, apart from when they have been appointed adjudicator.
And votes will refer to 207 were the adjudicator required for any other duties. We have a judge and an adjudicator. I like that. He's like president.
Yeah. It's kind of the system I was imagining, because it's just a person who has a term
Has
where
some
they're...
executive powers.
Yeah.
So it's a very complicated rule to establish the way out of deadlock. So.
All that, except for...
I thought the coin flip was better.
But the problem is, if there's 5 of us, we wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the next thing we had to address.
Adjudicator.
How do you display sound works on the internet? SoundCloud? Put them in a YouTube
or,
video?
or YouTube just with an image.
Yeah, I guess. The video would be nice. I like these videos. That's one of the things I miss from Clooney is like writing rooms and
Yeah.
because I don't think I'll ever watch it all the way through. I was here.
I probably will, but just out of interest. Well, that's for now.
I'm partially interested in the idea that someone would be more interested in me than myself. I hope they're not watching now. In the future.
Yeah.
Now. In the future now.
In the future now, yeah. System created in Rule 301. If tied, rock, paper, scissors is used to decide to be adjudicator. You must put yourself forward. Yeah, I think if everyone puts themselves forward, you just go straight to rock, paper, scissors, because everyone's going to vote for themselves, which is a tie. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, well, maybe. I think we feel we should go through the process. It's written in the rule.
Yeah. So that's an amendment which gets stuck over 207.
Yeah.
I'm just going to have a great piss.
What turn is it?
Well, we've got to decide the adjudicator.
Oh, right.
So according to the amendment of Rule 207, each player has exactly 1 vote, except for when they are adjudicator, where their vote counts for 1.5. They are appointed using the 2 pence piece system created in Rule 301. If tied, rock, paper, scissors is used to decide. To be adjudicator, you must put yourself forward.
Wait, how do you vote between 4 using a 2 pence piece?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. It would be a
Oh,
tie.
I suppose you'd vote for each person in turn.
It's a big bulb, isn't it?
You'd, sorry?
A big bulb.
Oh yeah, use one of the silver ones in the middle compartment.
And I guess so.
Yeah.
In a way, everyone has to be appointed by everyone except one other person voting for them. So
Just, can we move these stills on the table so they're going to be in front of the camera?
I don't get this. So what's the voting system? I don't.
So,
Explain it again to me.
adjudicator.
I voted for it, but obviously I didn't know the rule properly.
To be the adjudicator, you have to put yourself forward,
and then everyone votes.
and then everyone votes in the 2 pence piece system. However, if it's tied, it goes to rock, paper, scissors.
What if say someone puts themselves
Well,
forward?
that doesn't. No, the rule system that in 301 means that it's not if it's whether or not it's tied between 4 people, because there's no way of voting in that. the 301 system means we have to vote each person individually, and they have to get an actual majority.
So it's essentially, does this person progress to the next round? And you do that for everyone.
Yeah.
And if 2 people, then you.
Oh yeah, but then we have the problem is if we already have an adjudicator barring this first round, are they allowed to rule on split decisions about who becomes the next adjudicator?
Yeah.
I think now that it's written down and we've voted on it, we've established it as the same voting system as 301. I don't know if that's a thing.
But if 4 people step forward out of this 4-person game,
Right.
they're all going to vote for themselves.
But that's the thing, is we're not voting using the 301 penny voting system. So that only has a yes or a no, not a yes, no, no.
No, but in 301 it says for or against.
Yeah, but someone would come up, and if 2 people vote for and 2 people vote against, it wouldn't pass. And so basically, you'd have to get 3 votes.
Yeah.
But the voting system is.
Can I propose a new rule?
What does 207 says that it receives exactly 1 vote. Is the same. I'm thinking it's the same system. So technically, the adjudicator is allowed to rule on split decisions in voting in the next adjudicator.
Well, that according to this amendment which we just voted on, yeah.
So we vote in the order in which people put themselves forward. Yes or no?
Right.
That seems.
Or I think we should decide who wants. Yeah, okay. So who wants to put themselves forward for the adjudicator?
Me first.
I want to put myself forward.
Oh well.
Okay. Yeah.
So me, and him, and him, and him.
Okay.
So for me, you put a vote in.
Okay. Put it down.
I voted with heads.
I voted against you.
I
I
voted
against.
I voted for.
Well, in this case, I guess that doesn't matter. But if there was an adjudicator, he'd be deciding now. Is that the right way?
No, I don't think this is. No, I think maybe the
This-
2 piece isn't the right system for this.
Okay, does that need to be
Maybe
I'll
we
included
propose
in
a
the
new
rule?
rule. I've got a new rule. We all just put a name in a hat.
Goddamn, we haven't finished this one yet.
In order to get this one.
Quit trying to fuck with the game.
Maybe.
Okay. So are we saying the adjudicator 107? Can we put except in the case of votes for the adjudicator, please? Can we just add that to it
Yeah.
as part of this
So
rule?
no one has any more power than anyone else when it comes to voting for
In an
adjudicator.
adjudicator. So in this
'Cause
case,
otherwise-
this didn't pass even though Dom voted, and even though it's a split, it doesn't call it an adjudicator, it's covered. Yeah?
Because even if, effectively the adjudicator can't keep himself there indefinitely.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, were he to put himself
Okay, so it
forward,
reads
receive a split
each
vote.
player has exactly 1 vote except for when they are adjudicator where their vote counts for 1.5. Does not count in votes for the adjudicator. They
Which
are
are
appointed-
done by that system,
Yeah.
with
No, yeah,
its original deadlock in place.
Okay.
Okay, for what? Who's voting? We're voting then.
So, but if 3 people vote for me, does that mean I'm winning against you, or does it mean that we
It means we voted you as the adjudicator.
that we don't go the whole way round?
Apparently not.
Okay.
It just says they put themselves
Who's the real
forward,
one?
and I did it
Yeah,
first.
Leon, yeah, it is.
So
Okay. All those 4 against me. Reveal.
4.
4.
I voted against.
Warren's the first adjudicator.
Do I get 10 points?
No. Oh wait.
Rule change.
Rule change. Yeah, it's done. No.
That's interesting.
So Warren's the first adjudicator.
I wish you'd stop flipping your coin.
He does look at it
I don't
before
know
he
what
puts
you
it
were
down.
doing either. As if this didn't go to rock, paper, scissors. I don't think he understood. He's had both of his adopted, and now he's the adjudicator.
My power only comes into effect
On the split.
on a split. I'm just going to quickly write a new rule, like a new score
But
page.
it'd be interesting to see what the knock-on effect, because will this mean people are more conservative because they'll be worried about saying yes and there being a split and then the adjudicator having power? Will this make positive votes even rarer?
We haven't got to the point where the manner in which we win points is massively affected anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
So, did you roll your dice, by the way?
No, not yet.
Almost there.
No, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we're still rocketing towards 100 points, perhaps.
Yeah.
I might change change that to 1,000,000 points.
Did I get my 10, by the way, for voting against the original proposal?
I haven't added it on yet, no.
We'll be finishing this via Skype next.
You have 11.
This game would work via Skype quite nicely.
Yeah, it would, yeah. Or email. A lot of people do it on email or like mail, as they call it.
Championship manager.
All four of us on the same.
You just have like a
Split screen.
or like a Facebook, something like that. Yeah.
It's better to talk though.
Yeah, it's hard to do on Facebook because you can't control who goes next.
If you had it on Skype before 4 people up,
Yeah.
and then you had you could have a little page with all the rules on
I
it.
feel like we're in Star Trek or something like Star Wars discussing the intergalactic system.
So from
I like that.
from
It's like,
round
maybe
4,
we could do it with floating platforms in a giant,
yeah.
in a giant honeycomb structure.
Just to make it. Oh, I didn't write on this rule. It's for 2 rounds. I'm going to call it a circuit.
The adjudicator was renamed the Decider, by the way.
Oh yeah, it was as well. Yeah.
Just
On this it says adjudicator, but anyway, yeah. To know that I'm the adjudicator for 2 circuits, I'm going to put a star next to my name in the points chart. So from round 4, I am the adjudicator, and will be for 2 more circuits, and then after my next go, it will become.
Yeah.
So always after me, there'll be a break.
And we'll have another vote on the next adjudicator. Which I think, depending on how this warrants adjudication works out, might be quite different.
Oh yeah, I just went for it to see what would happen.
Okay, so your turn.
I propose an amendment to rule about the minus 10 points. I suggest that opposing a rule does not lose you any points if it does get voted against.
Right, so you're basically removing that altogether in that rule.
So you want to repeal Rule 206,
Yes.
which I think we've discussed before, haven't we?
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you want to send that straight to the vote?
I want to send that.
This might be our fox hunting, this rule.
what was the rule?
Repeal.
Repeal 206.
206.
When a proposed rule change is defeated, the player who proposed it loses 10 points. Okay.
But
Okay. And reveal. Time 4.
I'm for.
I'm against.
Yeah.
So you get 10 points,
Yeah.
but it's passed.
It's passed. Rule is passed. So 206 is to be removed.
So your ability to get rules passed is no longer the measure of the game, perhaps.
Yeah.
At the moment, I think we're going to fight over what we're playing for.
Yeah. Just so, Chris, roll the dice.
1. That's my second one.
And you got plus 10 there, yeah?
What's the scores?
I'm on 11. Oh, fuck. Yeah, you're on 12, he's on 14, and Dom's on minus 14.
Minus 14.
Okay,
I want to create a rule
yeah.
which says that the game must finish, and the person with the most points will be the victor, irrespective of whether they reach 100. So this may contravene and conflict with a different rule. By the time that Today at Wimbledon starts,
What time is that?
8 o'clock.
8 p.m.
Okay, so
So the game.
you want to propose?
The moment the second hand strikes.
I think you need to amend 208.
Okay, I amend 208
Is that a mutable?
that I add.
No, that's a mutable
This is a
rule.
mutable rule.
And the winning may not be altered from achieving a number of points.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a whole sphere we haven't gone
Yeah,
on.
check that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, the state of affairs constitute winning may not be altered from achieving a number of points, and
Okay.
that hasn't been altered. To any other state of
It has-
affairs.
it has-
No,
time.
it has been
It has
altered.
been altered into a time limit.
Yeah, that
You
is a
still
good
achieve
point.
points, but
Yeah,
it's not a number of points.
Yeah, that's the. You have to achieve n, so you have to achieve a total. So I think you would be wiser proposing a larger number
No,
and add the proviso to 208.
or he removes that and
Yeah.
makes it get it down.
No, I want to move that to a mutable rule.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the only way.
Okay.
What he proposed
That's the only
originally
way that
requires
affects the
the
whole
muting of 112, which requires us to earn a number of points. So
Yeah.
And then
instead
then someone else will have to vote to change it. before-
Essentially,
Yeah.
112 protects the 100 points one, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, 112 protects the idea of a definitive goal as opposed to a time limit, which is what you wanted to propose.
Yeah. So the next stage would be amending 208.
Yeah.
Or
No,
amending
or amending
112
yeah,
or
yeah.
208, depending
Okay.
on.
Those
well,
those four
The only,
transmute.
the only thing I can see against this is because it will change how you discuss things, because it will
Yeah.
speed things up.
So we vote for
It'll make like a much more...
the transmutation of 112 to a mutable rule.
This is
Yeah.
interesting though. Do we talk about, when we talk transmutation, do we talk about our objectives, or do we just have to interpret into it what people are trying to achieve? Like
You could you can propose it clearly, and if it isn't unclear or otherwise questionable value, then it doesn't necessarily require a debate.
Because transmutation doesn't really require a debate because it's so clear cut in terms of what's going to happen.
Well, yeah, but the implications of the change.
Yeah, but that's for you to
Yeah, 111
yourself, isn't it?
Yeah.
111 doesn't say clearly that debate should be disallowed, but I think at the moment we relatively effectively.
Yeah. Okay.
But there's nothing equally to say that you couldn't talk through the implications of a
Pointless style, yeah.
Yeah, Be- because or even deal on those stuff, because that's not hatching a further plan. I think the moment you start talking about what you could do next, is where it changes. But when you're talking about the
Yeah,
implications,
at the moment, 111 only demands that if something is questionable, we debate it.
And so
But
you could propose.
I think
If you wanted
without
to debate, you propose a questionable.
without making 111 amendable by making it mutable, you would be allowed to propose a mutable rule, demanding that clear rules are voted upon without discussion. Would be an example.
for example. Okay, so those are all in favour of transmuting 112 to a mutable. Okay, reveal.
Heads.
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 Tails.
So it gets the
passed.
points, but
You get 10 points.
I did it because I didn't like the idea that it would be about speed, and change it all down to like a stricter like.
I don't
So-
want to be playing this in
Little
4
Chris
months'
has
time.
received 20. Is now on 22. Dom, can you roll?
2.
So it is now Christopher Lawrence's turn.
Okay. So
Oh yeah, we need to move that. So yeah,
is now a mutable rule.
yeah, just pin it here.
So can you read that rule out again? Sorry.
The state of affairs that constitutes winning may not be altered from achieving n points to any other state of affairs.
The magnitude.
The magnitude of n and the means of earning points may be changed, and rules that establish a winner when play cannot continue may be enacted, and while they're mutable, be amended or repealed. So
wait for it to be changed into able to be changed before you can remove
Yeah,
it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that vote was to change it so that
well, it's now
it can be
amendables,
altered.
but the amendment can.
But you have to amend it so it can
But
be amendable. It's amendable at the moment.
if I change
We've now
hunting to
moved it
12,
so
no,
it is,
but,
yeah.
but that rule can be amended.
Yeah, from now
Yeah,
on.
but
yeah.
the semantics of that suggests that you have to change it to make it able to be amended. Because if you read it out again,
Yeah, the state of affairs that constitute winning may not be amended from achieving n
may
points.
not be amended. So you have to change it to say it can be amended. You can't get rid of it
Yeah.
completely. So you have
I think
to
you
make
just,
it amendable.
just amend that by saying,
So can you go, I want to get rid of 112?
yeah, yeah.
Or can you say,
If you got
I
rid-
want to
yeah.
amend...
if you got rid of
in-
112,
In a way, this is very easy to repeal now that it's mutable.
yeah.
And would affect the game in no particular way because the winner is the first player
Yeah.
to achieve 100
Because we
points.
still have a rule in place which this rule outweighs this rule, but
I'd have
in
to
fact
change-
actually this rule
Yeah.
affects this rule.
I'd have to either
But-
change or remove that rule in order to change or remove that.
So at the moment, the state of affairs is essentially the same because this rule,
Yeah. It's still-
according to the other rules,
Yeah,
only takes precedence simply because it has a lower number.
Yeah, but this is the exactly. Nothing's changed. The game is still the same, but we can now
Change.
repeal or amend this rule. Now it's been moved down this section. Okay, so Chris Lawrence.
Okay.
I did that almost for the
We lost the
novelty.
penalty for proposing rules that don't work, so kind of, yeah, you don't lose points for failing.
Did that go through?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, alright, so good.
That's actually. Can you write down every rule that goes? Or
I'm going to put it in a pile.
like
here.
a real shorthand. Or,
I'm just going to leave it in
okay.
a pile over here, so you know.
Oh yeah, sure.
Because it might be reinstated. So.
And that's the only new rule to have been created.
And we amended 207.
I'll vote that one.
What does that say, look, Chris?
That's a vote.
That's how the votes.
Okay, cool. Which has been a success.
Yeah.
I like this government.
As decider, I think I deserve a second term.
We're all in recession. We're all in recession, but
That's a different rule.
No, but
Anybody who puts a really good proposal and gets another term,
yeah.
that won't lead to any debate.
Yes, I'm not sure enough at stake at the moment. You only get points for. It's not obvious. You only get points for voting against things that go through, pretty much.
get points for being a twat.
But you have to be the only person. Oh no, actually that's not true because of my extra half a vote.
Yeah, 2 people can vote again.
Yeah, and they could still receive the points as long as I'm on the winning side because of
Wait.
as the adjudicator.
If and when rule changes can be those the players who vote against winning proposals. Okay. There's a slightly perverse incentive, depending on what they think. We're essentially given the ability to decide who doesn't get points if he doesn't really care about the rule.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to propose an amendment to Rule 204.
Can I
States-
have 2 or 4 then?
If and when rule changes can be adopted without unanimity, the players who vote against winning proposals shall receive 10 points each, except in cases where the decider is required. So if we go to a split decision, both people who vote against, because the decider then pushes it through,
Yeah.
his extra half vote, they will not receive both 10 points each, which is currently the situation.
So that means that only in cases with 3, when it's 3 to 1.
Only one person
Yeah.
voting solely against something that is passed by a majority with the simple reading of 301 will receive 10 points. In other cases, people voting against things that are turned into winning proposals by the decider, neither will receive points.
Okay,
Okay.
let's
Yeah.
vote. Some reveal. 4.
4.
Our first unanimous rule change.
Well, Tom could have got points if the flip had come out, okay?
He
No,
does look
I
at it
do
before
actually.
it.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but most of the time. The thing about
You can kind of write just except in
Yeah.
it's
cases
like the
of the
more you
decider.
dance
in a way.
around the issue, the more likely you are to sneak something through. The balance will be: can you sneak something through by making it look irrelevant when in fact it has massive implications?
At the moment, all we've done is we're slowing the ability to score points before we try anything big.
We're
I'm
making
going to stick this directly on top.
we're
but we
making
all
a
know
safe
what-
atmosphere, aren't we?
That's
Which,
true.
like-
Everything that's been tried to pass to
So
set
roll
the
your
game
dice.
up has failed, and everything that's slowed it down has passed.
Where's the dice?
As a group,
I'll take
we're
that for.
ultimately conservative.
Yeah, well, will we establish a regime of skill? At the moment, the only thing that gets you points is being against stuff.
Okay.
If you give me a moment, I'm going to take a
You're going to disconnect it.
Go
Okay.
for a quick slash.
Yeah, I'm going to need a toilet. Take a 5-minute toilet break.
Yeah, and I'm going to put a new camera on, I think.
Okay, cool.
Go sit inside where it's cool.